Company culture begins long before logos or products. It starts in empty rooms, with intentions set before anyone else arrives. Founders rarely think about culture at first. They think about survival, speed, and getting something to work.
But even the smallest actions begin to define what is acceptable and what is ignored.
Culture forms quietly. In routines people repeat without discussion. When a team grows, those routines start affecting more than just one person.
Every meeting reveals what the company truly values, not what it claims to.
Silence, pressure, or openness are all signals people quickly learn to read.
Culture doesn't stop at the door. It follows people into conversations after work.
Early tension often comes from unspoken expectations.
Without clarity, people guess what behavior keeps them safe.
What leaders tolerate becomes the standard, whether intentionate or not.
Small moments of isolation can quietly shape how belonging feels.
People watch closely how effort is recognized or overlooked.
Even symbols on the wall tell a story about what matters here.
Before culture is designed, it already exists, shaped by pressure and habit.
The question is not whether you have a culture, but whether you are aware of it.
Awareness is the first step toward building something intentional.
Strong cultures don't start with rules. They start with reflection. Founders must decide what kind of environment they are quietly creating. Only then can culture shift from accident to intention.
As teams grow, uncertainty becomes heavier. People wonder where they truly stand.
Ambiguity feels harmless at first, but it quietly erodes trust.
When priorities aren't clear, urgency replaces purpose.
Doubt often shows up as hesitation in everyday decisions.
People start asking themselves what is expected and what is risky.
Distance can form even when everyone is technically together.
Silence in conversations often signals fear of being wrong.
Pressure increases when people feel watched but not supported.
Burnout doesn't arrive suddenly. It builds in unnoticed moments.
Mistakes without safety turn into lessons people hide. Speed becomes a defense mechanism against reflection.
Feedback ignored is feedback that stops coming.
Stress often disguises itself as productivity.
People withdraw when they don't feel heard.
Departure times reveal how safe people feel staying.
Uncertainty follows people home, even when work is done.
When culture is weak, work expands into personal space.
Anxiety thrives in the absence of clear direction.
This is often the breaking point for early teams.
Without intervention, culture begins to fracture on its own.
Change usually starts quietly, with someone choosing to pause and observe.
Clarity begins when leaders listen more than they speak.
Simplicity often reveals what truly matters.
Values become useful only when they guide real decisions. Alignment feels different from agreement. It creates momentum.
Writing things down forces honesty about priorities.
Consistency starts replacing confusion in small interactions.
People relax when expectations become visible.
Shared understanding builds trust faster than motivation ever could. Focus returns when priorities stop changing daily.
Strong culture begins to feel like alignment, not control.
What's visible gets remembered. Listening becomes a signal of respect.
Saying no becomes as important as saying yes.
Informal conversations start carrying clarity instead of tension.
Work becomes calmer when direction is stable.
Clarity turns effort into progress.
Momentum grows from confidence, not pressure.
Culture shifts when leaders model the behavior they expect. This is the turning point, where intention becomes practice. Execution begins with small, repeatable actions done the same way each day.
Strong culture lives in routines people can rely on.
Preparation signals respect for everyone's time.
Calm productivity replaces constant urgency.
Courtesy becomes a habit, not a performance.
Shared pauses create space for human connection.
Ideas flow better when people feel safe contributing.
Progress becomes visible in small wins.
Pace stabilizes when expectations are realistic.
Completion starts to matter more than constant motion.
Transparency removes the need for guesswork.
Visibility reinforces accountability without pressure.
Alignment shortens discussions and sharpens decisions.
Momentum grows when effort reliably leads to results.
Positive energy emerges naturally, without forcing morale.
Order reflects care for the next person.
Work ends cleanly when boundaries are respected. Healthy culture allows people to disconnect without guilt.
Execution turns values into lived experience.
Over time, patterns reveal what actually works and what quietly holds the team back.
Self-reviewment provoking audience. Reflection turns past effort into useful insight. Results matter, but how they are achieved matters more.
Wins feel stronger when they reflect shared values.
Trust shows up in efficiency, not speeches. Knowledge shared freely prevents invisible hierarchies. Transparency turns feedback into improvement, not blame. Strong cultures evolve without losing their core.
Growth feels safer when people move forward together.
Planning long-term signals confidence in continuity.
Efficiency creates space to think, not just react.
Systems replace stress when designed with people in mind.
Mistakes become assets when openly discussed.
Recognition doesn't need ceremony to feel real.
Letting go is part of maturing as a team. Stability encourages honest dialogue. Progress becomes measurable and meaningful.
Values are strongest when revisited, not rewritten.
Culture now supports growth instead of resisting it.
These lessons prepare the team for what comes next.
Strong culture reveals itself over time, not in announcements, but in consistency. Looking back shows how far intention has carried the team.
Confidence replaces urgency when foundations are solid.
Work feels sustainable when trust is embedded. Space to think becomes a competitive advantage.
Alignment allows creativity without chaos.
Culture shows up in how time is treated.
A shared future gives meaning to daily effort.
Respect becomes automatic, not enforced.
Leadership is expressed through ordinary behavior.
Focus reflects confidence in priorities.
Simplicity signals maturity.
Energy is steady, not forced.
Culture stays alive when allowed to adapt.
Reflection remains part of the routine.
Balance is protected, not promised.
Systems now work without constant supervision.
The company feels resilient, not fragile. Culture becomes the silent partner in every decision. A strong company culture is built daily and felt long after work ends.